Hello there, students. This is Mr. Yao. In this video, I'm going to talk about a few of the harder questions in your 4.4 assignment. So question 2, question 9, and question 10. So let's have a look. First, question number 2. On the left side, you have the number 1 over 6, which is a fraction. It's not exactly in our typical exponent form, so we already know we need to rewrite that 1 over 6. And then you look at the right side, 216. That does require you to know it's actually related to 6. So I'm going to rewrite the right side first. I'm going to need a base 6, and that's going to become 6 to the third power. You can always try it with your calculator, 6 to the first power, 6 to the second power. Then when you got to 6 to the third power, it's going to be 216. As for the left side, well, we already know it's going to be a base 6, but right now it's in the fraction. The only way we can rewrite these fractions into just a normal base is to change them into negative exponents. So 1 over 6 is basically 1 over 6 to the first power. So that means I need to rewrite that using negative exponents. So I need to take it out of the fraction and give it a negative exponent. But the 3x is still going to be outside the parentheses. That does not change. I only rewrote the 1 over 6. The 3x is still outside. That equals to 6 to the third power. Now the left side, I have an exponent outside parentheses, so I need to distribute it in, which means I'm going to multiply the exponents together. That's going to be 6 to the negative 3x, which equals to 6 to the third power. Now they do have the same base. I can get rid of it. So negative 3x equals 3. That means x equals negative 1. That is number 2. Next, number 9. It's very similar to number 2, but it's slightly more complicated. So first, you see the base on the left side is 125. The base on the right side is, well, currently the number is 1 over 25. So if you don't actually know all the numbers, you might think 124 can be written as 25 to a certain power. Well, you can try with your calculator. 25 to the first power is just 25. And then you type in 25 squared, that's actually 625. Well, it skipped 125, which means you can't use 25 as a base. Now it requires you to understand that 25 and 125 both are related to a 5. So I'm going to need to rewrite them using a base 5. Let's start with the left side. If it's a base 5, 125 is actually 5 to the third power. But since I'm just rewriting that number, the 4x, which is an exponent, still need to stay as an exponent. I'm going to put 5 to the third power inside parentheses. So I can be very clear that 4x is still an exponent outside. As for the right side, well, I can always start by rewriting just the 25 into an exponent. That is 5 squared. And x minus 3 stays on the outside. But now, I'm going to need to rewrite that fraction into an exponent. And again, the way to deal with the fractions is to use negative exponents. So I'm going to need to take that 5 squared out of the fraction, but give it a negative. So that becomes 5 to the negative 2 power with x minus 3 still on the outside of the parentheses. Now both sides have parentheses, which means I'm going to need to distribute it. So I'm going to need to multiply the outside exponent with the inside exponent. Left side, 3 times 4x is 5 to the 12x. Right side is negative 2 times x, then negative 2 times negative 3. So it's going to be negative 2x, the negative 2 times negative 3 is plus 6. Now they have the same basis. I can get rid of the base. So 12x equals negative 2x plus 6. Add 2x on both sides. We would 14x equals 6. Divide both sides by 14. X equals 6 over 14, which simplifies to be a 3 over 7. And that is question number 9. Number 10. I did actually mention this in the lesson, but it was not exactly in your notes. 1, whenever we see the number 1, we can write it as any base to the 0 power. But this question tells us we should actually use base 10 because the left side, they're both base 10. That means I can write that as 10 to the 0 power for the right side. As for the left side, they're being multiplied and they both have bases. That means I need to combine the exponents by adding them. So it's going to be 10 to the 2n plus 2 and plus a negative n on the left side, and the right side is going to be 10 to the 0 power. Now they do have the same basis, so get rid of the basis. 2n minus n is going to be n plus 2, which equals 0. Subtract 2 on both sides, n equals negative 2. Okay, so these three are the slightly harder questions in your 4.4 assignment. The other ones, they're kind of very similar to these few, the other hard questions. So hopefully you'll be able to get through them. Now that is everything for the 4.4 assignment I want to talk about. Thank you.